Good evening. This is Alan Leishman, and this is the March 27th meeting of the Bike, Pedestrian, and Transit Subcommittee. Commissioner Greco, could you please call the roll?
All right, the meeting has started at 6:06. Commissioner Amore?
Here.
Commissioner Leishman?
Present.
Commissioner Wagner?
Here.
And Commissioner Greco, that's me, I'm here.
Fantastic. We'll move on to item 2, public comments. There's no members of the public in attendance tonight, so we'll go straight to item 3, amendments to the agenda. Are there any proposed amendments to tonight's agenda?
I have none.
I have none.
Seeing none, we'll go to item 4, approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the February 27th meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Sure, I'll second.
All right, any discussion about the minutes? The one request that I would make would be that my first name is Allan.
I'm so sorry.
And so I'd like that correction in the minutes. But
Absolutely.
besides that, they all looked good to me.
Okay. Approved by voice vote. Oh, we haven't voted yet, but
No. We're in discussion. All right, any other discussion about the minutes? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes of the February 27th, 2025 meeting signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. We'll move on to item 5, business. The first item in 5 is Project Sidewalk. So just as a reminder for the listeners at home, Project Sidewalk is a web application that you can use to map out hazardous sidewalk conditions in your community. And we've been working with Active Transportation Alliance to coordinate what's called a mapathon, where you get a group of people together and you try to map a good chunk of your town, if not all of it, in one go. So I have been sending some emails back and forth with ECC Junior Commissioner Ivan Figueroa about participation of students at Willowbrook, because it seems like there's a lot of enthusiastic students there that we could use to help the cause. We are currently working on finding a date and time for the event. It looks like it's going to have to be in April, and the tentative date that I have right now is April 13th. The afternoon of April 13th from 1 to 4 p.m. I have a location in mind for that. I just have not 100% confirmed it yet. Once I have that location locked in, I will of course share it with the subcommittee. But it looks like it's going to be April 13th, 1 to 4 p.m., which is a Sunday. I plan to work some more with Ivan to make sure that the Project Sidewalk website works on his Chromebook that he was given by the high school, because students will likely have to bring their own computers to this event. And once we've got that confirmed, then I'll be working with him some more to create like an official invite for the event that he can distribute amongst his peers at the school, and that we as a subcommittee can distribute amongst our adult friends in the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Commissioner Wagner.
That's fine. I will not be able to attend because I've already got a commitment. So.
Okay.
I was just checking my calendar, but
What's the date again?
The 13th of April.
1, For the location will be close enough, so.
Okay. So yeah, that's kind of my plan for Project Sidewalk. I've gone through the training with ATA, so like I have a general idea of what we need to teach people how to do. But I'll develop that a bit more and probably have a little presentation for the beginning of the Mapathon. Yeah, Commissioner Wagner.
So Commissioner Wagner, so even though I went through a kind of a basic training of it, I could do, if I wanted to map my own neighborhood or
Yeah.
my immediate area, I could do that in advance of the
Yeah.
Mapathon.
Yeah, you can do that right now.
Right.
Villa Park is active on the website.
And what is the name for our group?
I think it might just be called Villa Park. Let me see if I can pull it up quickly. Project Sidewalk is kind of divided into neighborhoods. And so if you want to contribute to one neighborhood in particular, you have to join a team. Come on, computer.
Well, while you're looking,
Mhm.
I was gonna suggest, since they do have like mini trainings available, or at least like explanations on how it works, so maybe including a link to that on the promotional flyer, so people can check it out ahead of time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course, we don't have to have everyone only participating at the Mapathon. And I'm kind of hoping that, if we don't finish everything during the Mapathon, that, people will keep working on it afterwards. I'm not really seeing our team on this list here, so I'll have to get back to you on that,
Okay.
Bob.
Okay.
But yeah, we are on the map, so you can go to Villa Park and start working on it. Okay, any questions or discussion that people have about the event, concerns? Seeing none,
I love it.
let's go on to 5B, Bike Month. So, as everyone knows, we normally do several Bike Month activities every year in May. So we're coming up on May again this year. And so I made a bit of a list of like the previous events that we've done during Bike Month, and I guess I just wanted to discuss with the subcommittee and make sure that we're all in agreement that we want to continue to pursue these items. So the first one that I had was Walk/Roll to School Day, which this year is on Wednesday, May 7th. I had Trisha Little from the Traffic and Safety Commission reach out to me last week to ask if we would be interested in helping North School with their walk and roll to school day, like we did in previous years. I know I might be interested in doing it again. I don't know how the rest of the subcommittee feels.
It's during the day, so I can't. Who was it that reached out to you?
Trisha Little. She is a commissioner on traffic and safety and also a parent from North School. And involved in the PTA there.
Okay.
Lots of credentials.
Yeah.
She's coordinated with us in the past on this event.
I'm a maybe for the 7th.
Gee.
I'll be in Kentucky for my wife's family reunion on the 4th, and we are planning on being home on the 5th.
Okay.
There is dark clouds on the horizon with the health of one of her family members that
Sorry to
she
hear
may want
that.
to spend some extra time with, so.
I get that, yeah. I think in principle, we're all completely on board. It's just a matter of can we do it logistically?
Sure.
I hope to be in Springfield.
Okay.
We'll see.
What's
Yeah.
going on there?
Huh?
I think that's item 5C,
Oh,
right?
yay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, I see it.
Okay. Well, I will, if there's no objections, I'll email back to Trisha and say that, we love the event, we want to help it all we can, but we've got some other commitments going on, so we might not be able to have our normal attendance that we did in previous years.
Can I suggest, we have started to build a small list of people who want to volunteer for
Sure.
things. So a couple of the people that were here last month might be interested
Yeah.
in helping with that.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. I can assemble a mailing list for other bike pedestrian people in the community. Okay. Next thing on my list was the Ride of Silence, which this year occurs on May 21st. It's also a Wednesday at 7 p.m. I know Commissioner Wagner, I think you registered for us. Thank you for doing that.
Yep.
As long as the subcommittee is all on board, I'll plan on reaching out to the police soon to make sure that they're planning on escorting us like they normally do, and hopefully they might have a officer on a bicycle as well. Commissioner Wagner?
Yeah. I think Officer Tim Walsh kind of loves doing that, so.
Yeah.
Would be, he's.
Yeah, he would do it even if he weren't on duty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I looks like we're all on board with that one.
Cool. Next on my list is our smart cycling class. I believe that's currently scheduled for the 12th.
Yes.
Is there any help that you need with that,
I
Bob?
absolutely do need help, yes. Yeah.
Just more volunteers to staff it?
Yeah,
or?
more volunteer. I mean, we've done it enough times, so the outline of what we do, it'll be at the Jefferson Pool parking lot.
Okay.
Because Lufkin Pool parking lot is busier. I did reach out to School District 45 and just to get a refresher on their virtual backpack, how to get something together. I'm going to be working with Sue Earl to kind of promote it. But yeah, definitely would like help. To spot, and then just to help with the coordination. Hopefully, we get a decent turnout.
What time is it?
It's from 9 to 12.
That's April 12th?
May 12th.
May or April?
May.
May.
May 12th.
That's a Monday.
Yes.
No, I beg your pardon. What did I say here?
Because I saw April was a Saturday, so it's.
Oh, May 10th. I'm sorry.
May 10th,
I'm looking
okay.
at something different. I'm looking at something. Oh, this is, I'm in the wrong month. Sorry. Yeah, May 10th. It's definitely
Okay.
May 10th.
Good to know. Commissioner Greco, I think the date from the minutes from the last meeting's minutes
Oh,
needs to. I think during Commissioner Wagner's comments, he mentioned the date. And
okay.
that's where I got the 12th from.
Yeah,
So,
it's
Okay.
definitely May 10th.
yeah.
You can move on.
What was the time again, Bob? The time?
It's from 9 a.m. to noon.
Go.
Thank you.
Anything else that we've done in the past? Or are we still talking about the smart cycle?
I was still talking about the smart cycle. I will probably. I mean, I'll try to make the smart cycling class. Looks like I'm free that day. And I'll probably send out the. It's probably going to be one very long email mentioning walk roll to school day
Yeah.
and the rite of silence and smart cycling to the list of people in our community that support us.
I think that'll be fine. It'll
Yeah.
just be like this newsy little letter. And
Yeah, I think that's great.
I trust you to do, white space and make it visually appealing and find, a good graphic design.
Yeah, we'll see.
As long as you just a little bit of bolding and a little bit of white space goes a long way.
Yeah. So the last thing that I had on my list that we've done in the past is, in previous years we've done like a screening of a bike movie. I didn't have any movies in mind for this year, but if other commissioners have ideas, I'm open to discussing it.
It's kind of a promo for their organization, but I went to it was a bicycle art show a couple of weeks ago, and it was the group that does bikes for underserved areas.
Working bikes?
No, it's not working bikes because they have a specific design that they build. This bike is meant to be minimal maintenance. And there's a whole video they had running during this art show, and they had a representative from the company there. It is a nonprofit, but I don't know if it's enough to draw people in since it is kind of an ad for their organization.
Yeah.
But I'll look into that. I'll find the name of the movie at least, or the group.
There are Commissioner Wagner, there are definitely other biking, bike movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, do we want to pursue that this year?
We have a lot. Well, do we? We've got Rite of Silence, Smart Cycling.
And walk roll to school day.
Walk roll to school is iffy, so.
Commissioner Wagner.
So, Commissioner Hill can help us with this because there are some movies that can be shown that don't require permission. Well,
Yeah.
because of the
Licensing.
library status, they can show a movie.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Hill can help us with that. She could probably help us select a movie.
Yeah. I'm just going to say movies in our budget. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. Trying to think, would we want to try to do something like the last week of May to try and space stuff throughout the month? So currently we have Walk to School Day is the 7th, so that's the first full week of May. The Safe Cycling class is the 10th, so just a couple days later. The Rite of Silence is the 21st, so 11 days after that. And then we could try to squeeze something in the week of Memorial Day, which is the 26th through the 30th. That feels more reasonable than trying to squeeze something in. Because Spring Sweep is
It's the 17th.
it's the 17th. So yeah. Yeah, I think if we want to do something, it should probably be that last week there.
Okay.
All right. So if there's no objections, maybe I will reach out to Commissioner Hill, or I guess Director Hill, about the availability of the Orman Room that last week of May, to see if there is a night where we would be able to do a movie. And then if there is availability, then we can start talking about what we're going to show. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
Cool. So those are the big items that I had for previous bike months. Commissioner Wagner?
So I took the liberty of emailing Chief Rivas and Deputy Chief McCann to say, how does your calendar look for a bike registration,
Okay.
bike
Yeah.
safety, event, on the prairie path with the police? And I haven't heard back from them yet.
Okay.
I said, yeah, apologies, I just said,
No, it's fine. That's a good idea.
Thank you. That's right, I have a new bike I have to register.
It's a good problem to have. Any other bike activities that people wanted to consider for May?
This is Commissioner Moria. Has anyone met with the new owners of JNR?
what?
Trek?
The Trek people at JNR, was formerly JNR, have anyone
I
met
have
with them
not, I've
yet?
been meaning to get over there, but I have not.
Yeah. I think an official welcome would be in order, and maybe see if they'd like to partner with anything.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I wonder if there's a,
Yeah, they probably have deeper pockets than the prior owners do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's good PR. They'll want to take pictures and, yeah. Do we want to pick a day together, or do we want to just all make a point of going in and say, hey, we're the,
We're
Yeah.
on your side.
So, sorry, Commissioner Mori, just to clarify, what do you mean by a formal welcome? Do you mean like just us as a commission going to introduce ourselves, or us throwing a party for
No,
them?
no. I meant
Okay.
as an introduction and
Okay.
to let them know that, we would be willing to be appreciative of any efforts they can help us with our outreach and recommendations. I would maybe possibly join us for our next meeting.
Sure.
yeah, as you were saying it, I was formulating that thought, yeah.
Yeah.
I
'Cause I
like the
mean-
idea of inviting them to one of our meetings.
Yeah, because a lot of the things we're talking about, like wayfinding signs and things like that, that's business for them. Yeah.
Sure.
Especially if one of those routes goes right by their front door.
Yep.
Which could happen if they redo the St. Charles Road tip and put it on a road diet with a bike lane.
Sure. Yeah. Commissioner Wagner?
And I don't wanna put anything more on our plate, but it would be nice if we could do like a simple, slow roll family ride. Hey, it's, a simple, course, maybe like we did for the D45 community bike ride, just going.
Well, I have a question. I like the idea. I was just wondering, has there been an official opening of the new Tri-Trail connector? Maybe we could route it over that.
There was a grand opening of that. Yeah.
There was a ribbon.
Ribbon
cut.
cutting.
Yeah, ribbon cutting.
Yeah, it's those both reaching out to Trek and having a community ride are good ideas.
I mean, Springs.
What? So I haven't been involved in like those community rides in the past. I know there used to be like an August annual ride or
Community
something.
ride, I think we did it for 4 years, maybe 5 years.
What level of planning and coordination did that involve?
Well, it was a bit of planning because we would do 3 different routes.
Okay.
We would do a really short route, we'd do a 3-mile route, I think the other one was went to the north side of the town to Iowa Community Center and back, maybe it was 10 miles.
Okay.
So there were water stations.
We had a mechanic there for safety checks.
Typically we would have, a bike mechanic there. We had, I think we even had entertainment one year, we had food. Former West Suburban Bank used to make T-shirts for us. community bike ride. And coordination with the police department.
Yeah, that was, I guess that was one of my questions. Is like, did they try to block off certain roads when the crowd was coming through?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. It was just, they handled it just like a 5K run.
Sure.
So, but
Oh,
we could make it very simple. You know, it could be a simple. We wouldn't have to have 3 routes. You know, we could do a simple bike ride just to say, hey, we're kicking off the bike riding season, etc. So,
wonder if we should just make it a goal for next year, but make it the bigger one with the amenities, with the fun stuff. I think we get better turnout.
I mean, there's also like, we could do this outside of May, like, you know,
sure.
despite being bike month, May is not the only month of the year that you're allowed to ride your bike.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking even just the whole rest of the year, just save it for next year. But but scaling it back could work too. That first weekend in August seemed to work really well. The turnout was really good, as I recall.
Yeah, I'm just I'm kind of struggling with you know, how much time we as a commissioner are willing to spend on commission stuff in 1 month. You know, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. So I mean, like, if we wanted to squeeze that into May, I think it would probably be best on Memorial Day weekend. So like the 24th, the 25th, or the 26th. That would place it after the Ride of Silence. Potentially before we do a movie.
Oh, you are gonna wait? I'm sorry. What are we trying to squeeze into May? I got a text from.
Well, I'm just trying to see like where a bike ride would fit into the calendar. If we were going to do it in May.
I think we shouldn't try to do it in May. We've got a lot, and you know I don't put a lot of time in. So, but I don't know. Do we have much going on in August?
Oh, I don't know. That feels ages away.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'll be back at work fairly early in August, but I'm free on weekends. And I have space camp the end of July. I signed up for adult space camp.
Wait, that wasn't a joke? You're actually going to space camp? That's fantastic. I love it.
It's just a weekend, you know. But
Oh,
Are
I'm
you
so...
going to Jeff Bezos' fiance or?
Nice. Did you ever see the movie?
no,
It's a movie from the 90s. It's really a great movie.
I'll check it out. But yeah, I just saw that there was adult space camp, and it was actually in our budget. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go.
I'm so jealous. That's great.
Well, I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah. Okay, I think I would lean to pushing it later in the summer as well. I think if we want this to be like a big community event like it was in previous years, it's going to take more than a month and change to plan it. So that would be where I'm leaning right now.
Well, he was okay scaling it back. I'd rather bring it out with a bang. Do you have any thoughts on just starting out simple so we get it done, or wait a year and make it bigger?
I'm always enthusiastic about events like this. I'm still mourning the loss of the D45.
Yeah. Yeah,
bike
that was a big one. Yeah.
back to school. Which
Is that the same thing as the August ride? Or is
It
this-
was-
No, it
No,
was
it was
different.
It was a different thing.
It
Okay,
was
yeah.
similar. They had a walking component, a riding component.
Yeah, it was.
They had a lot of vendors
It was
there,
mapped
a
out.
food
We had
truck.
a ton of people there, and the fact is that somebody on the D45 just decided they didn't want to do it anymore, and that was it. It just never came back. So
I'm sorry, what did you say?
somebody on at D45, and I know you know who it is. I don't recall.
Yeah,
the person's
Claudia
name,
didn't want to do it again.
and didn't want to do it again for
She
whatever
wanted to do
reason.
Something different.
Yeah, it wasn't like we put a gigantic amount of ask on her to maintain it.
Well,
But the fact is
yes.
that I prefer the starting small and building up with participation. And then, like I said, I tend to think about the things that start out looking good and then never happen. Like, for example, during COVID, when the do-it-yourself Independence Day parade with the bikes, and then we thought, oh well, we should make a bicycle component part of the regular Independence Day parade. Once that came back, and then we get 6 people the most 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, that was
And then
lack
it
of
just-
planning and promotion.
And it was just
but,
like
yeah.
it never came. That just went away. So.
Okay.
Not saying we shouldn't plan things, but I think planning small and building up lessens the disappointment when the expectations aren't met.
But it also doesn't get as many people out because it doesn't seem as big of an event.
Yeah.
So,
Commissioner Wagner.
well, we don't have to decide either.
Commissioner Wagner, are you going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, it can be very simple. I mean, if you ask the Community Focus on Unified Neighbors Commission, they'll say at their autumn thing, they had a bike parade. Yeah, which,
Yeah.
so,
And this is what
I guess it was a bike parade, I don't
Right.
know.
And this is what my ask about the tri-trail, because whatever route you plan should incorporate that, even if they have to circle around and come back, just so that they can experience it.
Well, why don't we? All right, I think the compromise that will make the compromise that I'm hearing right now is like we do a smaller event, but we do it later in the summer than May.
I'm completely fine with that.
That's great.
I'm nervous about squeezing more things into May, frankly.
Yeah.
Well, I completely agree we shouldn't do it in May.
Yeah.
Whether
Okay.
we do it big or small.
I don't want to go. I think where my mind immediately goes, anytime we're planning like a municipal event like this, is kind of liability. And so I think an event of any size that is like village organized, there's going to have to be a police presence, like,
Right.
and
Especially crossing major thoroughfares.
I don't really want to ask the police to do 2 things in May, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So yeah, let's discuss that later in the spring, and we'll put something together for over the summer. Cool. Anything else on Bike Month? All right, let's go to item 5C, attendance at the Illinois Bike Summit. Commissioner Wagner, you asked for this to be added?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to request be able to attend. The cost is very reasonable, it's only $50. Of course, there's lodging, I don't know if I necessarily gonna ask for lodging, but I'd like to be the official, I'd like to have say I'm here on behalf of the Villa Park Bike Pedestrian and Transit Sub-Committee, and it is officially billed as the 2025 Illinois Bike and Walk Summit. And I've gone in years past. I think I've been to 3 of them, and they're great. Learn a lot, meet a lot of people. Think it's contingent upon I'm pretty certain I can attend, but I have to be, just to say that there's something in my personal life that may not be enabling me to go, but I'm
Sure.
hoping that'll be okay.
Sure.
That'll be good to go.
Um,
So my plan would be to take the train down, because I'm itching to take the train down. And, you mentioned you took your bike down with, that's what my plan would be, to go down on the train, stay overnight, and then come back. So,
I believe that ECC did budget in for this at
yeah,
when we were planning our budget for our 2025 cycle. I don't think we as the BPT can officially make this decision to allocate the money since we're not
right,
appointed.
yeah. No, but I
But
thought
we
this was
can
the- right,
discuss it here, and then if we're all in support of it, then we can make a recommendation to the ECC on behalf of the subcommittee. I think that makes
Perfect.
sense.
Yeah,
Um,
and it could even be done in April as well.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem if we ask ECC today for the admission cost. We can even see if they budgeted for lodging. There might be
there
some
was
kind of
yeah,
small
there's extra
stipend or
money,
per
yeah.
diem or something.
Is it on the ECC agenda for tonight?
No, it's not, but I'm gonna ask for, I got a list of things I need amended to include on the agenda, but we will have to handle it in a kind of a delicate way. For example, Arbor Day tree, authorization to start moving forward with it, approval in April, because it's not on the agenda.
Yeah, we're not allowed to allocate funds without.
Right, it has to be publicized.
Oh,
Yeah.
pre-publicizing, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't sneak it in, because it is on the agenda as the bicycle business, but that is just a report, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
we could, yeah, I'm happy to, and we could approve it after the fact. I mean, we could approve it in April, or I could bring a receipt and you could reimburse me, whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, but let's bring it up and get it on the agenda for April,
Okay.
You all in agreement?
with the
Okay.
assumption that it
Cool.
will be approved, yeah.
Yeah, I will. So, sounds like we have consensus. I will bring that up at the ECC meeting immediately following this on behalf of the BPT. Then item 5D, I-290/I-88 Pace Express bus study. Commissioner Wagner.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring this up because I think it's an important development. They are doing these express buses on I-55. I've seen them, and there's a whole study. They're beginning the process. I should have sent, I can share the link if you don't already have it. They did a survey. There's information about the preliminary planning that they're doing for it. And I think it would be beneficial to us. We would be there's no quick connection. So the plan is to use the shoulder primarily for the express bus. They haven't determined where the terminus would be in DuPage County, but the object is to go to Forest Park to connect with the Blue Line.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, and I have not ridden the express bus that goes on I-55, but I think there's definitely a connection. So I thought it was beneficial. I thought it was a great development, and I think
So-
we should support it,
Yeah, it sounds exciting to me. I hadn't heard of that, so
Which road did you say already has the express buses?
I-55 already has an express bus on it.
Okay, got it, thank you.
but this is explicitly a pace service, right? So it is just in the
Explicitly and they're doing preliminary studies on it.
Okay.
And if you go to the site, I can share the link. It funnels, there's two areas, and it basically funnels. Once it's developed, I think the plan is to take people to Forest Park, to that blue line, where the blue line ends.
But you don't know have they announced where they want to originate from?
No, no. No, they're just doing there was like a survey, an online survey. There's there's a preliminary plan, so.
I look forward to learning more about it.
I assume that information is on the PACE website.
What's that?
The information is on the PACE website?
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Right.
all I have to say about that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Item 5E, DuPage Rail Safety Council update. Commissioner Amore?
Thank you. We met on March 15th. The main item on the agenda was there is another company now that does predictive mobility. I hesitate to bring that to the predictive mobility is that they have a system of recognizing when crossings are blocked by trains, the length of time, the time of day, so that it becomes a system to alert the general public and possibly the municipal entities about rerouting first responders, things like that. There's already been a company that's been doing that for about 5 or 6 years. I requested that the village incorporated, a presentation into a committee of the whole as part of the Great Separation Feasibility Project, because they were using data from 2018 and I wanted more updated data before they made a final decision. Well, the village never even wanted to do the committee of the whole. I don't know if you need a certain amount of trustees to request one, but the ones that I spoke to just couldn't see to get it over the finish line. So they just couldn't seem to get a committee of the whole to hear these, the science out about recognizing in real time when these crossings would be blocked so that you could factor that in when you make your approval of whatever the recommendations made by the vendor who did the feasibility study. So they spent most of their time on that, and there was very little else after that. So that's about all the discussion was. So it was a lengthy presentation. A lot of questions.
Yeah.
Cool. It'd be interesting to see the methodology for those predictions. Sure, be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Amore. Item 5F, community outreach. Any items of outreach that we wanted to discuss? I know Bike Month is kind of our main outreach for basically the entire year.
Immersive.
But anything besides that? Okay, let's go on to item 6, commissioner comments. Start on my left with Commissioner Amore.
Could I be the last? I might have more than we could have time to discuss.
Sure, I'll start on my right then with Commissioner Wagner.
Yeah, I think we're all observing the municipal election, and I did happen to read, not all of them, but I'm going to read all of them, the Daily Herald interviews, and there's one particular trustee candidate who has made a point to mention that they're opposed to the whatever we're applying to the ICC for the planning for the overpass, underpass. There's one particular candidate who was absolutely, mentioned it and said that they're opposed to it. So
Did they give reasons for opposing it?
the cost,
Okay.
but big things cost money. If you don't, if you say, sometimes you have to plan big. You have to figure out a way how you're going to do it. And I know that Commissioner Amore that's something near and dear to his heart. So it just struck me that was short-sighted to say, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to go in that direction, so.
And
That's
that
the only-
sounds, I was gonna say, that sounds like someone who
I mean,
doesn't, that sounds like someone who doesn't understand the funding process.
Yeah, that probably
There's
doesn't,
that too, but,
probably doesn't understand a lot of stuff, but.
so anyway,
I
you're
won't- I won't
encouraging
even-
us
yeah.
to check out those interviews
I-
and be aware of that statement. It's-
Like-
Yeah.
Made some color copies.
Oh,
Yeah, this was something put out by the Lombard Police Department. You may have seen this.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was, I was gonna send that to
Ooh,
the chief.
cool.
Yeah, all about e-bikes.
For the listeners at home, this is a flyer about e-bike safety.
What's that?
I was
You-
telling the listeners at home that this is a flyer about e-bike safety
Yeah.
produced by Lombard. And thank you for sharing this.
Yeah.
It's very important in our town when we've got those bike trails.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a lot of, I've seen some very responsible riders of e-bikes and e-scooters, and I've seen some very irresponsible riders of
Yeah.
e-bikes. Just one particular, I saw riding at night, absolutely no lights whatsoever.
I see that a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's, we can talk about that all night.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Greco?
Yes, so I did manage to carve out a little bit of time. World Bicycle Relief is the organization I was talking about.
Okay.
They have the Buffalo Utility S2 bike. It's specially designed for harsh conditions to require minimal maintenance. And then they do make sure that the villages that they give these bikes to have the tools and the knowledge to be able to maintain them.
I have heard of that before.
Yeah.
I was thinking the mule bike in the back of my head, but no, it's the
The
buffalo.
buffalo, yeah. I mean, it's a similar idea for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll just check it out and see if it would be appropriate for us to involve
Sure.
them in an event.
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments? Commissioner Greco?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I have no more.
Okay. Commissioner Amore?
thank you. Okay, so summer questions. I wanted to follow up with the grade separation feasibility study. Has there been any movement on that? I've been watching the village board meetings and I haven't seen or heard of anything other than their official recommendations that were made last year. Okay. So there was a article in Lombard's Facebook page that Betty passed on to me, my lovely wife, about they're going to be redoing St. Charles Road and putting concrete sidewalks in. It drew me back to the
Crosswalks, right?
crosswalks. Cross sidewalks. They just redid the roads and the curbs, and now they're going to do concrete sidewalks.
They're adding crosswalks to St. Charles.
Correct.
Is what they're doing, yes.
Right. So it's on a Facebook Lombard page, and the thing I wanted to was it drew me back to the crosswalk that's closest to Dairy Queen, and do we want to advocate for a crosswalk with the flashing lights there? Because there's people crossing day and night there, especially in the and with the warmer weather coming. It's something that needs looking at. I mean, the village focuses on that business because a few years ago they required them to put those steel posts in to keep people from walking across along the building out into the traffic lane of the driveway as cars exit from the drive-up window. So they know it's there and they know there's issues. So where do we take that?
Well, that is on one of our goals to identify, or one of our potential goals, to identify a crosswalk that we want to focus on. So yeah, that's definitely a great suggestion for a crosswalk that needs attention.
I mean, they don't, there are no crosswalks because their position is that they want a active signal at a crosswalk. But there's places all over the county that have those high-vis signals, those active flashing yellow lights. I forget what they're called, but you know what they are.
Yeah. Commissioner Wagner.
So the issue of the bollards by Dairy Queen, that was something that the traffic and safety advocate for. I believe the village actually helped them put those in. Because, you know, all those people congregating outside the Dairy Queen, there was, you know, potential, but there are ways to stop, not just beacons like we have here. There are more sophisticated beacons to that will stop traffic for a pedestrian. And you know, I think maybe this is something that should go. Maybe we could work with the Traffic and Safety Commission on, because you're absolutely right. You know, people are kids, families want to get to Dairy Queen and they have to cross St. Charles Road.
That's South Summit Avenue is the crosswalk. I mean, that's this cross street, South Summit Avenue. So, I don't know if we can take it to traffic and safety or how
Yeah.
to progress that.
Yeah, no, I mean, my opinion on the matter is that, like, I think traffic and safety has a louder voice on this matter than we do.
Okay. Well,
So I think that's the right.
Trying to get to a meeting. By the way, speaking of meetings, so the Trek Cycle thing, are we gonna go as a group or just drop in and say hi, or how just when we have the
Come on in.
opportunity, we'll be right with you.
Hi. Oh, yeah,
No,
come on in.
you guys
Come on in, you can join us, but we're just winding down.
Yeah.
There will be another
You're
meeting
early for the
starting.
next one, or,
Yeah, don't worry, just
are
make
you-
yourself
Boy
comfortable.
Scouts, so we have to like.
Right.
yeah. Oh, by all
Oh,
means,
you have to sit
welcome.
in a community meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Environmental Concerns Commission meeting will start almost immediately.
In about
as
2
we
minutes.
finish this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're
No,
bicycle and
welcome, stay.
pedestrians, so you'll enjoy
You're-
it.
Yeah.
Stay,
We'll sit back here.
stay, you'll enjoy what
Yeah,
we're
this
talking
is the
about.
part where we throw pies at each other, right?
Yeah.
So,
Here.
Okay, so, yeah, you were talking about traffic and safety. We definitely collaborate with them to make a persuasive argument
Yeah.
for what needs to be
Okay.
done.
well, we'll try to attend to any or all of us could try to attend the next meeting and bring it up.
Oh, right, you were talking about, the new bicycle place. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then Trek, should we just do a drop-in when our time, is best for us? And okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we're each just gonna make a point of getting in there and letting them know.
I
we
think it would be
exist.
pretty difficult to schedule all four of us.
Yeah, and then the last, one of the next things.
But let's make a point of inviting them to our next meeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my timer. I'm not gonna talk anymore.
Okay.
Okay, I'll bring the rest up next month.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. I don't have any comments this evening, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All right. All favor in adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:59 p.m.